A week ago, I spent my life racing against time,
I'm gonna help you out today, okay?
trying to save people who were running out of it.
Jesse!
Until one moment changed everything.
Come on! Welcome back to the land of the living.
So, of course, Madame Web's powers are clairvoyance. And I couldn't help but think about That's So Raven in the moment of like when Cassie gets her premonitions. And I was wondering, Dakota, how you landed on the face you wanted to make when that happened.
I don't even know what face it is. SJ and I think the first couple days of shooting, we were like still trying to figure out with the wind and the diopter and things like that, how to differentiate from a vision and reality. So it took a minute, but I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what face I'm making.
Okay, well, it's just like when you go into like a premonition, I was just like thinking of that story. It's not like it's like a particular
I
face.
totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So Raven.
I know, what a throwback, right?
Yeah.
This whole movie to me was a throwback like, to the 2000s.
Yeah.
You and I are like same age, and I like loved that. And I was wondering what you were really excited to see like on set from that time.
I mean, all the references, like the music references, the fashion, it was so funny. But the huge Beyonce poster, I think, was my favorite.
Me too, the Crazy in Love. I was like, whoa, that's so good.
Yeah.
And when you were wearing a flannel around your waist, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, why did I wear that all the time?
Why? I know.
The fashion was so good. But my favorite fashion moment, which I don't want to give away, but I love Gucci, and I know you love Gucci too. And it's, to me, I was like, this is so sick. Did you have any input in that moment?
It was a very exciting moment. I'm very happy about it. It was like a behind-the-scenes thing that happened to come to fruition, and I'm really happy about it.
Okay,
I don't know how it all came together, but it was something like, well, you know, it would be cool if like there was a nod to these, to like, I don't know, my relationship with Gucci, and
yeah,
it's cool.
So good. I was really happy. So thank you for bringing that moment to life. I was second happiest when you attempted to climb a wall. It was
Thank you.
so good. Dakota was so funny. Please tell me, like, break down that scene for us.
That was, I think, like SJ's favorite day on set, because there's so many moments that I was like goofing around, of course, because me, but that wouldn't make it into the movie because it didn't really serve the story. But in that moment it did, and she just loved it. She loved watching it, and it was really funny to do.
Did you, like, how many times did you shoot that?
I think she like kept it going for a while just because she was enjoying it.
What was it like for you? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, so silly.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so cool, like, to be able to tap into the spiderness of the character and being in just the spider world in general. It made me want to ask you, like, do you have a spider person? Because I feel like as the years go by, I keep discovering new spider people, like, as more movies come out.
I don't know. Like, when, I guess Madame Web.
Yeah. What parts of Madame Web did you feel like most connected to? Like, what do you love most about her?
I love that she really starts to honor her mind, and I love how protective she is and supportive she is of the three girls.
Yeah, I was just talking to the three girls and telling them that you're giving like millennial mother like energy and just like older sister, and I love that too. And the fact that she's a paramedic is so cool. When I left the film, I heard a paramedic and I was like, Madame Web, like, because it's really cool that you actually get to like drive a truck. What was the training process like for that, and just acclimating yourself to that world?
I mean, I did a little bit of stunt training, driving training, like a day, but I didn't get to drive an ambulance until we were on set, and it was so fun. They're such big, silly cars.
Are they like hard to drive?
It's hard to drive because you can't really see anything at all behind you, but pretty fun.
Yeah. When you hear one now, does it remind you of like this experience? Like does that change the experience for you now when you hear or see a paramedic?
No, I haven't really. I don't connect the two, but I never thought that I would know the inside of an ambulance so well.
I can see the future. Oh, what the hell? She didn't see that coming? That's not how it works.
I'm so excited to talk to the three of you collectively because you all are so good, like individually. And so to see you guys come together for this project was just the best for me. So I'm a 90s kid. And the fact that this movie takes place in 2003 was just so much fun for me. It was like such a blast from the past. What was it like for you guys to go back to that time? Like taking a time machine back to 2003?
It was so fun because I feel like Y2K in the early 2000s is so back. Like, it's so in right now, and I live in New York, and that's, like, what everybody is wearing. So I was just really excited to explore, like, the fashion of 2023 and my character and also the music.
I love the music.
Yeah.
Well,
The
there
music
was
is fun.
I think this script kind of was ahead of it precedented the trend.
The trend,
It
yes.
was in they wrote it like way before, and we started auditioning in 2022.
That's so true.
So they were ahead of it. They called it. Like, it's amazing how these things these trends cycle. But I was very young in 2003. I was a baby. And when I got older, I wished that I could emulate the fashion that they wore back then. And so now, like, it's like my dreams are coming true. I get to wear a little crop top and a low-rise jean.
I love that you said that because the graphic tee you wore was so cute.
It's amazing,
It was
right?
so good,
I eat
right?
math for breakfast.
It's
Yeah.
so good. And of course, this includes, like you guys said, the music, one of the best songs from 2003. Like the diner scene where you guys are dancing to Britney Spears is the best. But it made me want to ask you, what song would you set an action scene to? Because I had never seen an action scene to a Britney Spears song. I was like, that's so
Right.
dope.
Only a woman would think to do that.
And it worked very well.
It worked very well. So what song would you guys set to an action scene?
Yeah, I would do like a Flo Milli song. This is not 2003, but I would do an action scene to a Flo Milli song.
Yeah.
That would be badass.
Yeah, you liked Lil Millie.
I do. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite song that either the two of you guys have from like the 2000s that you think would look or sound cool?
I really liked Green Day. I really did. I grew up listening to Green Day. I loved them so much. I would pretend like I was Green Day in School of Rock, the movie. I wanted to be like a rocker kid, like in the early 2000s. I did.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
Something from Avril would be really cool. I'm like the Black Eyed Peas, I think.
No, yes.
Yes.
The Black Eyed Peas. Are
Where's
you-
the
My
Love
Peas
came out-
would be sick.
That'd be so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
And it came out in 2003, I think. Where's the Love? I hope. We'll see. But for some reason, like in Spider World and Spider movies, music just hits so hard for me. Like in the Spider-Verse films, I love it. And it made me want to ask the three of you, do you guys have a favorite Spider person?
I'm a huge fan of Miles Morales as a Spider-Person.
Miles is awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean,
Cool to see
after
that.
mine, but.
After Anya.
The Anya Araña.
Miles is really cool. We've all been kind of like fangirling over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're excited about that.
I love that. especially love because as a Latina, I love like everything you've done for the community, and Miles like just makes us feel so seen. So I love that
Yeah.
answer. Thank you. I feel like every year when like a new movie comes out, I discover a new Spider person, like Madam Web, and I was like, whoa, she was older in the comics. Like that's so sick. And the dynamic between you guys and Dakota Johnson, I feel like she was giving like millennial mother or like felt like an older sister. you know?
Yeah.
Tell me about the dynamic and energy of like working with her.
Honestly, it was pretty accurate though.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty accurate to
Yeah.
set. Like me and Bella would be like making a TikTok or like just like I don't know, we would all be joking around, like Cindy would be eating candy and
She'd be confused.
she would be like, "Hi girls."
What was it like working with her?
It was fun. I mean,
so fun.
we were close all the time because she had so much that she was doing and filming, and we were just together as a trio the entire time. So whenever we got to come into her world, I feel like we just kind of like bombarded everything. We're like, energy, fun.
Yeah, it really disrupted probably a lot. But in a good way. Like, you can tell that our energy on the screen makes a difference in the movie.
I've seen that man before.
So who is he?
Ezekiel Sims. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Tahar, I have been dying to talk to you ever since I've seen The Mauritanian because it is just, you are so unreal in that. So I've been following your career since. And I know when you create a character, you like to go from inside out, but then there's other characters like in The Serpent, you went from outside in. So I was wondering for this villain, Ezekiel, how did you approach creating him?
Let's say from 2D to 3D, from the comic book to reality. What I did is I read everything I could about Ezekiel in the comic books and tried to put in as much of him from the comic book as I could in the script. And from the inside, what I explored is this question, the psychological question. What would you do if you knew where you're going to die and who's going to kill you?
Right.
What would you do? That's a real question, you know. And I understood why he acts like this and why his nightmare turns into an obsession with fate and trying to just save his life. And in my case, as a person, I would have accepted fate and just, you know, take advantage of what every day, every second, and just, you know, accept it.
Yeah. Well, that tracks because SJ said you're like the nicest person to ever work with. So I love that you would just like calmly go about it knowing when you would die. That's amazing. So you said you read a lot of the comics. Did you look to any other villains for inspiration when portraying Ezekiel?
It could have happened, but it wasn't the case for Ezekiel, because every answers I found in the comic book was helped me enough to build that Ezekiel. Yeah.
Were you a fan of Spider-Man before coming into this?
When I was a kid, as every single kid on Earth,
yeah,
of course. And I can see how my kids are crazy of this, you know, world of superheroes, and you know that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to be part of this movie as well.
What was it like getting to play in that world?
It was fun. I like to see my acting path as a, you know, adventure experience, to have the opportunity to jump from one genre to another one.
Yeah.
And I was so curious to see how they're made, and you know, to play a man with superpowers.
Yeah.
It was such, you know, it was cool. And back in Europe, we don't have this cinematic, let's say, mythology. So when you get a chance to explore it, you just seize it.
So fun. It's literally like playing dress up. Do you have like a favorite spider person? Because there's so many different like spider people in this world now.
There is a lot, true. But I'm not gonna surprise you, but Ezekiel is really fascinating in many ways, you know, in the comic book and in this movie as well. But I don't know, because he is human, and he's such a different villain from what I've seen before. Villains usually seek revenge or try to destroy the world and all. And that one is just trying to save himself.
Yeah.
It drives him crazy, you know. But and he's making bad choices, obviously. But it makes him more human.
But what's interesting is, even though he's a human and he's your favorite spider person, he wears a suit very much like Spider-Man's suit in a way, which I thought was cool. I was curious if you and SJ built an origin story for the suit.
I don't know exactly, but I was so excited to put on a suit that I was like, yeah, bring it in. Anyway, but I think that out of privacy, he wears that suit. Because he is a super human being in a real world. Because this movie is, you know, grounded in reality. And in order to avoid, witnesses or police or whatever, he has to wear that suit.
You said you were just so excited to put it on. What was it like the first day you put on the suit?
I remember it vividly.
Tell me about it.
I flew from Paris to LA, and there was this big warehouse, and when I walked down the hallway, it was filled with superhero suit from other movies, you know.
Wow.
And that made me even more excited to put on mine. So I felt like a kid on a playground. And the marvel with being an actor is that sometime you can bring back the kid that's inside of yourself and tell him, that's your turn. Let's switch places and have fun. And that was the case.
Wow. And so once you had it on, did you you obviously couldn't send pictures to anyone with it on and stuff. So how excited are you for people to see you in the suit?
I was really excited for my kids and my friends to see it, because it's it's like a kid dream comes true in a way.
Did you train with it on at all? And what was the training process like for Ezekiel?
I trained a lot, of course. Let's say it was an average of 4 to 5 sessions a week of, training with a personal trainer, with the stuntman. It was all about wires, choreographies, flexibility, and trying to, to mix it all so we can find a specific way for Ezekiel to walk, to fight, and, find his own body language.
If you want to live, you have to trust me.
Get ready. Now!
You're showing off.
Maybe a little.
I heard your favorite day on set was making Dakota Johnson climb up a wall. Dakota told me that you made her do it so many times because she felt like you loved it.
Well, do you know what? She was so nervous about doing that, but she's so good at comedy. And I said, shall we rehearse this? Do you want to rehearse the scene where you climb the wall? She was like, I think we should just do it. And the cat was the biggest diva of the entire movie. So the cat didn't want to be in that scene at the same time. So the cat had to be shot separately. So I was the cat. So, I played the part of the cat. I did the cat meowing so that when she landed, I did the meows and things like that. So I really felt like I was a good scene partner for her. And maybe it was just I was enjoying being the cat so much that we went again and again. Yeah, no, the cat was shot on its own day. Diva.
That's so funny.
Yeah, magic of film, right?
I love it. I laughed out loud when she attempted to climb the wall.
Yeah, she did it so brilliantly. I mean, honestly, she just did so well. Yeah.
It was so good. I was also so impressed on how you brought her power, which is her mind, essentially, clairvoyance, to screen. And I was actually really moved before we saw the film when you shared like how kind of challenging that is. Like, it's like, how do you show clairvoyance on the big screen? And how, when you went to go see Singing in the Rain and you saw the practical rain falling, that sort of inspired you. So I was hoping that you could share with us, how you decided to bring clairvoyance to screen and capture it on screen.
I think I've always loved trying to find the magic in the ordinary and trying to do things. I came from theatre originally, so to sort of do things live is always quite exciting. And I think there's an energy to that if you can make things happen, in camera. So I used quite a simple technique, really, of a diopter that I actually personally moved through the lens. So all those moments is just me and a diopter going through the frame. And then what we would do in the edit is we would obviously film on the set and we would use the diopter to then show the different variations of what would happen in the scene, so the 2 or 3 different versions of it, and then very quick splicing using the diopter as the cutting pattern and technique. But most of those are in camera with me, a diopter and a flashlight. Yeah.
She's a cat and a diopter.
Listen, I think I did a good cat. I slightly, thought I should leave that in, but yeah.
That's so...
But yeah, so no, it was really fun to do it in camera as much as possible. And so that's where Dakota was also brilliant, because she's not seeing a lot of that stuff. She's just reacting to me saying what it is and, seeing elements of it, but not obviously actually seeing it.
Right.
So, all those reactions. So it was a lot of conversations about what was happening and, especially for something like the train sequence where there was so much going on. It was sort of like me calling out the train, the look, the scream, the lady, him, head turn, lots of crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a line I won't give away and spoil that a guy says on the train that really had me going too. It was really funny. But I think what I loved most was that it took place in the 2000s.
Right.
Like, I'm a 90s kid. So like seeing everything that you infused, what did you feel like you had to get right about that time period?
Oh, goodness. Well, obviously I remember it quite vividly. It was good time, 90s, noughties, good times, right?
Good bet.
Really good times.
Yeah.
So I wanted to sort of make sure it felt authentic and grounded. And, whenever you are in a period, I always think it's better when you don't just shove that period down the neck, that it has to have a timeless quality to it, because not everybody's wearing something from now, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm wearing
That's
shoes,
so true.
right? So it's about if everything's it, then sometimes like, when people do the 70s, it's like everything's 70s, but actually their parents probably still dress like they're in the 40s or 50s or, you know what I mean? And there's remnants of the 60s in the wallpaper because nobody goes out and immediately does. So it's about finding that timeless quality to it and then having those pops of things that you really have to have, like everybody was listening to Beyonce Crazy Enough.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody was listening to Toxic. Some of those things, the flip phones, right, that we all remember. We were all just getting a flip phone and thought it was the coolest thing ever, except that it took an hour to text somebody, right?
Yeah.
So it was about getting some of those elements into this timeless feel. And the
love
costumes,
that.
obviously.
No, I mean, for me to watch an action scene set to a Britney Spears song, I've never witnessed that before.
I know.
To me, that was so cool.
We tried to do something different with that. So yeah, I'm so glad you liked it. It's fun, right?
No, I loved
Yeah.
it. It was
Yeah.
so fun. I also was so like fascinated by las arañas, these like spider beings from Peru, and I was hoping you could tell me like where you pulled that from and where that kind of came from.
Well, they were in the original scripts, but they are in the comics. They
are.
exist. Yes. So for anyone that doesn't know, go dig in. They're a great tribe in the comics, and yeah, las arañas, spider people. So they have the spider and control the spider.
Wow.
Kind of fun, right?
It is. How
Yeah.
did you decide what to pull from the comics and what you wanted to take liberties with?
I think there was obviously the biggest liberty, I guess, is the fact that it's an origin story. Because when we meet her in the comics, she's already sort of in her 60s.
Right.
So I guess that in itself was kind of like, but it got sent to me in that form. And then it was about really taking the spirit of the characters. That's what it is. It's kind of reading as much about them, delving into the comics and finding the spirit. And I was so lucky with the actors when they came in. I'll never forget Celeste when they sent in their self-tape. It was Matty. They were just there. You could feel the spirit and the energy of her in a way. She sort of embodied and encapsulated that. So that was really exciting. So yeah, it's about then allowing the actors to bring themselves. And again, it's keeping true to the spirit and making sure there's the rule book of like, you can't step outside of this because you want to remain true and honor that, you know?
Right.
Because that's the material with which we've left, you know?
Yeah, and I love that a lot of your work just historically has been about heroines, which I think is cool. So how great that you get to play in this spider world now. Do you have, SJ, a favorite spider person?
Oh my God! Well, that's like choosing one of my favorite children, isn't it? Because look, in this movie, they're all amazing. So I would say I can't choose out of this movie. I think they're all wonderful, and I'm excited to see where they might or could go.